All right, so final day,
Final
final
day.
round of PauperGeddon day 1.
Yes.
And do we know the matchup?
Yeah.
You are very well prepared for your role.
Okay, we have Grixis Affinity
Affinity.
versus Mono Red.
Oh, that's a really old style matchup.
Yeah.
Well, at last was something like very usual in 2033 with monasteries with spear still legal.
Yeah, yes.
And-
Both players are for 2, so they are playing for the winning dean to the day 2.
Yeah,
So
That's
we
a winning
have
dean.
to remember that the cut is x2.
X2. Yeah, you need the 15 points to go to the second day of PauperGeddon. And our players are Radeka with Mono Red and Minjone with Grixis Affinity.
Yes. So the classic start land creature for Mono Red, and a classic start tapped bridge for Grixis Affinity.
I say the matchup is quite even
Yeah.
due to the presence of a lot of tapped land from Affinity, and also due to the very fast start of Mono Red.
Yep.
Right? At the present day, decks like Kuldata plays a lot of copies of Goblin Bushwalker because
Yes.
without Monastery's Whisper, they're trying to go fast enough to kill the opponent on turn 4 just by going wide with the Kuldata Rebirth and Goblin Bushwalker, which is also a strategy which is clear worse compared to Monastery because you are relying on 2 cards instead of only 1. Monastery's Whisper was kind of a 1-card combo compared to Kuldata Rebirth and Goblin Bushwalker.
Absolutely. So now we can see Kuldata Rebirth on Synthesizer. So it generates tons of advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, basically 1 mana divination generating 3 copies of Kuldata Rebirth.
Yes.
There's a
He exile.
Lightning Bolt. All
Yeah,
right.
Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt, and now they can attack with their Goblin Blast Runner, dealing 2 extra damages.
We can
This is
see-
the static ability of the Goblin with the barrel.
We can see that Affinity player runs 2 Karklan Shaman. So he is
The main deck.
Yes, on main deck. So it can be good to run
Yeah.
out of this situation because 3 Goblin on board plus something like a Bushwalker can deal a lot of damage.
I suppose that Karaklan Shaman, another Goblin, is probably the best card against this Goblin tribal deck.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes they call it Kuldata Burn, but Burn is basically a Goblin-based red deck wins because it's more reliant on striking down the opponent life points through the combat step, and specifically with a lot of Goblins. So they have even sometimes Goblin... No, I was going to say Goblin Bombardment, but that card isn't illegal in Pauper.
Yeah.
What is the name? Goblin Grenade.
Goblin Grenade.
1 mana, burn spells that requires the sacrifice of a Goblin creature to deal 5 damage.
Ooh.
All right, there's
Goblin
a Goblin
Bushwalker.
Bushwalker.
But there
Followed
is a
up by
counter spell.
Okay. 2 mana to counter a 2 mana creature is fair enough when your opponent has only 3 mana.
And you have to, or it could be completely disaster.
Well, that's still 4 damage.
Yeah.
Putting down to 10 lives. Grixis Affinity.
Yeah.
Counter spell isn't really great in this matchup because it requires you to leave 2 mana open against a very aggressive deck.
Yeah.
So it is likely that counterspell will be cut down post side. So unless Affinity plays a decent amount of cards like Reckoner's Bargain, the game one is very favorited for our friends with mono red.
Yes, she is putting a lot of pressure on board, and on the other side, Reconnaissance Bargain here gains only 2 lives. That is not enough.
Yeah.
I think.
Against Kuldota, you want to land a Frogmate or a Mirror Forcer.
Ooh, we call it
Yeah.
few moments ago, and now this is a solution. This is an answer to this board state. But the point is, the opponent still has only 10 life
Uh-huh.
against a barn deck, so 10 life could be not enough, even if you find an answer to this complicated board state.
Yeah, you can say that. Okay, you have an engineered explosive in form of Karakan Shaman, so you can kill 4 creatures,
Yeah.
and it's a very good thing. But you also need to find a way to not die from 3 copies of Lightning Bolt, basically.
Yeah.
Because I suppose now we will see something like another creature to put pressure on the board, on the battlefield. Because if they don't have any more creature left, and if Grixis Affinity start landing some Champ Blockers,
Yeah.
then the game will be very unfavored for Kuldota.
In this case, Minjone waited the combat phase to do the sweeper on the board, just because if you don't wait until the combat phase, your opponent is able to play an aced creature or a bushwalker and deal a lot of damage post after the main phase. So
yeah. All right. So classic Grixis stuff. Card advantage, another card, drawing card. Maybe we'll see a Blood Fountain, which is extra card advantage. People do really like drawing cards.
yeah.
So I assume that now we will also see a Mirror Enforcer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mirror Enforcer for 0 mana. And also the Blood token is very synergic with the Sneaky Snacker.
Yeah, that's for sure. I suppose that most deck lists, most Grixis Affinity deck lists are running Sneaky Snacker, which is great against Affinity. So in the mirror match, and I suppose is kind of decent against
Fairies?
well,
It's fairies?
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is kind of funny that the best card against fairies you can play in Affinity is a fairy, and also the best card you can play against Kuldota is a goblin. So
Yeah.
a lot of weird stuff from our, or at least the Italians' favorite decks.
Yeah. So now other 3 goblins. Now we will see if there is another bushwalker here.
Goblins.
But no. Not for now.
We know that Kuldota has a Fire Blast in hand, so
Yes.
it is waiting to find
Other 2 bolts effect.
Yeah, a couple of Lightning Bolt to deal enough damage to kill the opponent.
Also, from this situation, Galvanic Blast is the worst bolt effect that you can draw.
That's for sure, especially since you have sacrificed a Great Furnace to Kuldota. So unless they have some very good top deck like Reckless Impulse,
Yes.
but nowadays Kuldota deck lists aren't running any card advantage beside Experimental Synthesizer, and I don't really know why. I mean, okay, going faster So playing more creatures like 1 mana,
Galvanic
one,
Blast.
2 with first strike and haste. I don't really like that approach.
Oh,
Um,
makes sense.
I
I
mean,
feel like in this case, do you want to attack with goblins? I think so.
I think you are forced to do that. Okay, so Affinity can sacrifice double blood token to kill your goblins, but it is better to force your opponent
I
to
think that
waste the mana.
I think that the Grixis Affinity player is approaching to do it anyway. So
Mhm. Even sacrificing here as blood token instead of the second copy of Blood Fountain could
yeah,
be not a really wise choice. I mean, you're playing against a deck that is trying to go your face to kill you as fast as possible, and that blood token you can sacrifice it to cycle it and trying to find a Hellenic Blast or a counter spell or a Reckoner's Bargain.
Reconnaissance Bargain could
And
be maybe the
mhm.
best card to draw in this spot.
Yeah, and I don't think that you really want to activate that blood fountain. Or I mean, maybe you prefer to activate the makeshift munition to kill, to sacrifice blood fountain to kill your opponent. So probably blood fountain here is just something like 3 mana to deal 2 damage. No, I mean.
Yeah.
An artifact, just an artifact generating 2 artifacts that you want to sacrifice with makeshift munition. So 5 mana for damage.
So he is approaching to activate makeshift munitions, but sacrifice a land.
By sacrificing a land to munitions
Okay.
to kill the token goblin. Yeah. They really love the blood fountain. There's no red mana. No, they have a
No.
bridge.
Only
They-
one. Only one.
I mean, Affinity has 2 bridges, one Rakdos and one Izzet, but it is very difficult to notice the color from those
Yeah,
lands.
is this the Rakdos one?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Now, yes.
It's Vault of Whispers, Seat of Sidon. They just seem the same land from
Yeah.
the camera.
Yes. If you, it's tough to recognize every heart of the last set because every version, if the style is the same, they are very very similar. And now the point is the. I think that Grixis Affinity is lethal on board.
Yeah, they have a treasure token.
Yes.
So they have 6 mana.
6
and
mana
they can
and 6
attack for
damage.
6, forcing Kuldota to kill the mouse.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, what is happening here? Oh ho ho! There's a rat,
Yes.
rat, forcing a play. Fire Blast, right? So Fire Blast, I guess the opponent.
I think that if you don't want to die, you have to blast the Mirror Enforcer, but anyway.
No, if you Fire Blast the Enforcer, then you aren't able to win this game because there's ammunition on the battlefield. So they are probably gonna, Affinity is probably gonna win the next turn. So it is better to just hope to throw a Lightning Bolt on the top deck.
Yeah.
Okay, so take 6, go down to 6. And let's see if there is an untapped land from Affinity. If not, that is a huge misplay because it is risking to lose from a top deck. And, would be cool to see a top deck from Norad Kuldota here.
No, we will see. We will see. Only one bolt.
Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt. The life total was wrong. Why?
I think it's correct. Did Affinity player draw from familiar? No. Yeah. Whoa! Galvanic Blast. Galvanic Blast. Galvanic Blast from the top. So this is the problem on game one, because game two there are a lot of hydroblast and stuff like that. So why isn't Grixis shooting the with munitions? Maybe in their mind the idea was to try to discard the removal spell, or forcing the opponent to play the removal spell, but
Yeah, Affinity didn't notice to have lethal on the battlefield thanks to the treasure token.
well, maybe yes, but uh, still it depends what you want to do. It
Well,
depends what you want to do.
It was probably better to attack first because
Yeah.
if you attack, you are forcing your opponent to answer to your combat, and if your opponent is killing one of your creatures, just to say, if they had a lightning bolt and they wanted to kill the refurbished familiar, then you were able to fling the refurbished familiar with munitions,
Yeah.
and they played another familiar post combat. Well, actually, they played before combat, forcing the Kuldota player to play Fire Blast. So, as they had only one card in hand, that was clearly better to
Yeah.
force Kuldota to be.
I do think that
proactive.
it's not always easy to recognize some kind of situation if you are thinking about too much think. If you overthink, you cannot notice everything. So maybe in his mind he was playing like a control. Like a control deck, and so in this situation, he say, "Okay, I'm at 5. You need two bolt. Maybe you have nothing in hand, so I want to see the card, and then try to kill you the next turn." So maybe that was the plan.
Yeah, that's sure. Also, I don't know if it is also true for you, but when I play MTG Sims, I'm not really accustomed with aggressive strategies. Well,
Yeah.
I played my fair amount of decks like Punza, but and the Wolf's Cascade in the previous years. But I tend to not really care about my opponent total
Yeah.
amount of life, because I usually play decks that aren't really caring about the life of my opponent,
Yeah.
like Familiar or Flickertron or Turbofog.
You are simply trying to not die.
Yeah, which are or combo deck or control deck, and usually I win. My opponent isn't
Yeah.
able to win against me.
We can see that on the sideboard of Monred, there are 4 Smash 2 Smitterings.
And one Gorilla Shaman, so
And one-
5 cards
One
in.
Gorilla Shaman is spicy.
Yeah, you know, when your opponent is playing more indestructible lands than destructible lands, it is probably better to play a card that probably is more effective or more worth,
Yeah.
even if you don't destroy the land.
On the other side, for Hydroblast, maybe one
On the
negate.
other side, in their side, we have Turn Aside.
This is incredible.
Dante Alighieri.
So, on top of land from one side, and mountain plus a creature. So
Jokes aside, we can see Hydroblast and maybe Cast into the Fire in Grixis Affinity sideboard, but you do really want to bring a Cast into the Fire against Kuldota? I mean, you already have a Karkan Shaman,
Yeah.
Galvanic Blast.
yeah. We can see that the Affinity
good
player did a really cool start with Chromatic Star plus Refurbished Familiar that find a way to reduce the amount of resources for the opponent.
Yeah, they are making a two-choice here, choosing to discard
Yeah.
a burn spell or a creature against a deck that already landed a champ blocker. And
Wow, Experimental Synthesizer.
they found the land.
Yes.
I'm wasn't able to see all the hand of Kuldata, but it seems full of spells and no lands.
Wow.
Okay,
But the
they are
point is,
taking
if you
revenge.
have a really good end and you are on the draw, it's okay to keep one lander for mono red.
Well, I'm not a Kuldata player, so my answer is no. I mean,
I think so.
it is the kind of deck that you do really want to play on the curve. So having turn one mana, turn two mana, etc.
Yeah, but you
But
are a deck that works well with a low amount of mana, and you have a experimental synthesizer plus the draw of the turn. So I think it's not bad. There are plenty of keep one lander for mono red.
that's true. Anyway, I also think that not having a second land could be very bad for Kuldota because you can't really play your game with only one land, especially against a deck like Affinity, which plays a lot of really efficient cards like Hydroblast, Metallic Rebuke, and Galvanic Blast.
Yeah, but
Because when bot decks have spells that cost only one mana, if you can play only one spell per turn and your opponent is playing two or more spells per turn, especially against a deck that is trying to slow you down, it is for sure not the wisest choice.
yeah, but I think that sometimes you have to try. Sometimes you have to force this kind of situation, and you have to trust your experimental synthesizer that will find a land. So
That's for sure.
we will see. We will see.
Anyway, I think that they top decked
What's
that
the? I
Kraken
think.
Shaman because when they attacked first with
Okay.
Double Goblin, the 2/2 and the Barred Goblin, they jump blocked with the Refurbished Familiar. And that wasn't really clear if you maybe want to sacrifice the Refurbished Familiar to Kraken Shaman to kill double creature. Yeah, you take one extra damage, but you know, you can take it if then you kill bot creatures.
Yeah.
So Lightning Bolt target you from Kuldota. Still not cracking the Kraken Shaman. And they have a Blood Fountain and a Blood Token beside the Chromatic Star. Right?
Yeah, I think that in this moment, this will be the right moment to crack for Kankasham because you cannot go too low with life.
That's sure. All right, they are still keeping the Blood Fountain on the battlefield.
Yeah.
But at this point, it's probably a right call. I mean, Grixis Affinity was forced to crack in the early game the Kraken Shaman. So a couple of turns, they may be
Okay.
They may be forced to
Hydroblast.
to crack the Blood Fountain to bring back the Kraken Shaman and kill Accumulator Rebirth. And you know, I think that smash to Smitterens could be played wrongly on the LED. I mean, there is a
I
Blood
don't,
Fountain.
I don't know. It was a bite to try to.
Kuldota.
Yeah, I think so. I think the idea was that in this situation can be good because your opponent is without any creature in this moment. So.
All right, but if you wanna resolve
Goblin
a
Grenade.
Kuldota Rebirth, and you know that your opponent has a Blood Fountain on the battlefield and a Kraken Shaman on the graveyard.
Yeah, but you have to try at least. You have a Goblin Grenade in hand. So you have to try to force some.
but,
wow, what a top deck.
But you want to not let your opponent resolve a Kraken Shaman, right? So
yeah, well,
what are you gonna destroying? A Blood Fountain while the opponent can't crack it, or a land?
Yeah, but look at the board state now. The opponent is forced to play a Galvanic Blast and Charm Block with.
Yeah, that's true. But
so
next
4
turn,
damage.
Next turn they can pay 5 and sacrifice
Yeah.
a land to kill another 2 creatures.
That's for sure, but
That's
there are
not
four
bad.
damage plus. If there wasn't a refurbished familiar, it could be 5 damage more
Yeah,
with a goblin
Refurbished
grenade.
Familiar seems great against Kuldota, especially since they
Yeah.
don't play Reckless Impulse.
Yeah. So I think in this situation, because the problem here was the refurbished familiar after the turn after, because the Mono-Red player was not able to cast the Goblin Grenade. But with a Goblin Grenade, the Grixis Affinity life total could be 4. So in this scenario, this was, I think, a really good play. Yeah, to reply to the chat, if an indestructible land is a target, is a valid target, you can take the damage, but the land is not destroyed by Smash to Smithering.
Yeah, they're still taking the damage even if
Yep.
the land isn't destroyed.
Because the target is legal.
And anyway, they had the Hydroblast, so
Yeah.
they countered the Smash to Smithereens with it.
So
Alright.
now, another...
Refurbished Familiar with the Kuldota without cards in hand,
Yeah.
drawing a card, so something like Augur of Wallace, but better. And
So
it
now
also killed
Goblin
a creature.
Grenade... no, just pass.
You know,
Goblin
Refurbished-
Grenade did here...
Yeah, will be great, but Refurbished Familiar, the first one discarded, or
Yeah.
the second one, I don't remember how many they played, discarded a relevant amount of cards. And there's another Blood Fountain.
Yeah.
All right, so you're probably taking 1 damage. Okay, not yeah, they bring it back, the Caracal Shaman with the first Blood Fountain.
But if you are forced to sacrifice an artifact or just block because you are...
Well, you can just jump block.
yeah.
There's no reason to sacrifice any artifact if you can just jump block.
Yeah.
Especially if you have another Blood Fountain on the
Yeah.
battlefield, and if you activate the Blood Fountain here, you are bringing back 2 copies of Refurbished Familiar.
So, attack.
What are you doing? I sacrificed the Swamp.
Sacrifice the swamp.
Easy channel block. You don't
Okay.
really care about card advantage here. I mean, if you think of Caracal Shaman as a sort of card advantage, so you prefer just to keep your
Yeah.
life count high, to not die
Yes.
from Fire Blast. You know your opponent plays Fire Blast, so you prefer to have more than 7 life. And here we go. Blood Fountain. Draw 2 creatures. Let's
Yeah.
see if they want to bring back the Caracal Shaman. It could be the right play if you fear Goblin Bushwhacker.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think I favor more having double or Refurbished Familiar in this spot, because my
Yeah.
opponent doesn't really have a lot of cards in hand. Only 2.
I think
So,
that this is a call that he has an Hydroblast in hand, because otherwise you wanted to
what
play...
they're doing...
Oh, okay.
They have another Shaman. 0
Okay.
cards in hand, seems like.
So, there is Tron on board. The true main different creature that Grixis Affinity can play, and that's why this deck is so strong.
Wait. Bolt on the face.
Bolt plus
Bolt
a
plus.
pass.
Okay. So we are playing the burn gameplay right
Plus,
now.
plus the pass movement.
Plus the pass.
Go.
Discard with the blood token.
Okay. So now we have like 2 turn to top deck something to win.
Squid.
Okay, another mountain. So
And now
this
we
is
can
good.
attack. Well, the clever play with Caracal Shaman here is so bringing back Caracal Shaman, so you can attack with everything.
Yeah.
All right, you haven't discarded any card with Caracal Shaman, but you can attack, is making any.
This is good. This is good.
Any haste creature.
Fire
pointless.
blast. Fire blast.
Fire blast him. Fire blast.
We
him.
are
And
all
pass the
waiting
turn.
for fire blast here. In upkeep, no.
Attack for 9 damage, letting the opponent going down.
So
to
now we
4.
have another turn to top deck something. Probably.
Or for Bishop Familiar is really cool. It's a
Yeah.
really cool card.
So
I
now
can't,
both are under a Galvanic Blast. So we will see draw a card, and it will be game 2. It will be an end or game 3. It depends by this draw.
So Kuldota has 2 cards in hand. And
No,
I
a
can see
land
an
and a
artifact
Tomb
land
Raider.
and the
Tomb Raider.
pirate. But Tomb Raider is a monkey or a goblin? Because
It's a Goblin Pirate.
okay, so, but
I
has
think.
a blue skin like.
I don't remember if it's a Goblin.
Yeah, well,
I don't
it's a
know.
goblin. You can sacrifice it with goblin grenade, or
Yeah.
you can sacrifice it with goblin grenade if it's a monkey. Only if you don't let your opponent know.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really work in in real life, I suppose.
So in those two match, Mono Red didn't start with nuts one single game.
It's Lara Croft.
It's Lara Croft. It's Lara Croft in Pauper.
PauperCraft.
In
Pauper
PauperCraft. So, do you think that they can change something from the sideboard? I think not.
Yeah, I'd like to know the opinion of HJC, which is a well-known Brazilian player and a cool Dota player as well. I remember that he has a lot of results in paper in his own local league with cool Dota.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a win in for the day 2, but players are X2.
On the draw with Mono Red always out one land. This is an interesting point, but we will see. Because the point is, if you cut in some lands, you are more available to mulligan. So
Not having any card draw spell in Mono Red is really too about this argument. I mean, since they don't have any card advantage, they are forced to play a different game compared to the traditional Pauper deck, which is early reliant on card advantage. I mean, Greece's Affinity used to be an aggressive deck, but right now plays the role of a mid-range or a control deck, so
look,
has a lot of card advantage.
Look this start.
Yeah, Goblin
This
Guide.
is the perfect start.
Goblin Guide against an opponent starting
It's
with
most-
a double land.
It's more
There's a smash to speed.
powerful than a Goblin Guide.
I'd like to see another Goblin Guide. The
Synthesizer.
Okay.
Boom.
On top of the land in hand.
Another land?
Please. Yeah.
Wow.
We are playing
Wow.
modern here.
Yes, 6 damage on turn 2. This is amazing. This is incredible. This is incredible.
Amazing. No, I'd like to see a Caracal Shaman now. Caracal Shaman plus Blood Fountain would be really cool.
Yeah.
Oops.
I think it can be a plan. It can be a plan. So you need an untapped land, an untapped red land plus no. There is another bridge.
They maybe have a
Tribal Goblin Guide.
This builds
Tribal
on-
Goblin Guide could be better than true.
Okay, so I'm not sure if they have any women artifacts in hand.
Look! Wait, I think that
There's
they
another Goblin-
just draw
They
another the
have
third
not
Goblin Guide.
the Goblin Bash Worker.
What is better than true Goblin Guide?
Can
Three
you
Goblin
imagine-
Guide.
Can you imagine land, Goblin Guide, Goblin Bushwalker?
Bushwalker.
That would be something like
Come on.
9, 11
Boom.
damage.
Boom. Boom.
Hey,
Take
I'm
it. Do you
proposing-
want to read? Do you want to read it? I like.
And that's the reason why Monasteries with Spirits banned.
So
If they have a monastery
Okay.
instead of the
Take those
Goblin
three.
Bushwalker, all right,
Idle
Idle Blast.
Blast.
I suppose they don't have the third land.
Wow. For damage, so affinity is at 10 on turn 3. So we can see the Bushwalker in hand.
We can see why Kuldota is still under the Pauper funnel panel is still keeping an eye open on Kuldota. It is this kind of start.
Yeah. Turn 10, turn 3 seems strong. Yes. Yes, I think
Hey,
so.
wait, they have a land in hand.
Yes, but I think that
Why?
they try to keep the land just
No.
to discard to our refurbished
Why
familiar.
not push further the damage? I'm disappointed.
It depends by the end.
Okay, there's a fear.
Wow.
Or
So this is a disaster.
Wait.
This is a disaster for Affinity because the third tablet land means that in this case, Mored is able to do what they want.
wait, they didn't play the land earlier, and they have a Bushwalker,
Yeah.
and they have another card at least, and
So in this case,
there's a Kuldota.
they can try to play a cool Dota and then Bushwalker.
2 mana, no.
No, 2
just a
mana, Bushwalker.
Boo. We want Kuldota. I suppose they will block.
I hope.
Oh, that's a cast down in form of a furry.
yeah. But still, 5 damage.
Damage is a lot.
5 yeah.
Goblin Grenade.
So now, land, Goblin Grenade. This is just to do
Why?
game 2.
Why 6 life? They weren't
Game,
at,
day 2.
I mean, maybe the life total of amount, the life of Affinity isn't at 5 instead of 6. I mean,
Yes.
the Bushwalker deals.
Yes,
three
this is
3
wrong.
damage.
They are missing of 1 damage. Yes, they miss 1.
Chromatic Star.
Then Chromatic Star. Yes, we are getting in touch with them.
Why are they skipping land drops? I think that Kuldota is playing with the fear of refurbished familiar. So for that
Yep.
reason, they prefer to not discard your relevant card they may have in hand. Maybe a burn spell,
Yes.
or well, there's a smash to smithereens, right? So
Yes. There is a smash at least one smash to Smither and
smash to smithers.
smash to Smithers. Mored needs 2 lands to function. I think this can be a good point. If you have
Pace is the
if you
place.
have an end that works well with only 2 land and you are scared to refurbish it familiar, I think that it can be good.
So seems like there's a judge call for the
Yeah.
missed damage, right? I guess.
I think that they miscount the 1 power more of.
Can you imagine if they had a goblin grenade and they missed the damage in that turn? That would be really
Yeah,
hilarious.
this could be not very
Alright.
good. Not very good. So now there is a blockers.
Where is the big mirror?
Okay.
I'm very disappointed but by Wizard printing at uncommon the frog mirror. I mean,
There. I'm happy for that. I'm happy for
no,
that.
because I like it playing Affinity when Chatterstorm was legal. I was able to land 5 copies of Mirror Enforcer on turn 3. That was really cool. Well, in reality, in that meta, I was also playing Chatterstorm. So
Yeah. So 2 mana, 1 mana,
2 mana,
2 mana, 1 mana.
2 mana, 1 mana.
For Smash to
Yeah.
Smithereen. Yeah. Is there an hydroblast?
They cracking the hydroblast.
They're-
They cracking the star.
They're trying to search for the hydroblast and
Do they have something? Clearly,
You have to-
they don't have a metallic rebuke.
you have to play an hydroblast or give your hand to your opponent.
But you prefer to counter the smash to smithereens here or to kill one creature? I guess it is
Wow.
better to counter the hydroblast.
Wow.
All right, there's the lethal on board. Well, they
Now
may
the
have
mana
a
is not
galvanic blast.
floating anymore, so
And that's GG.
GG.
Yeah.
GG.
So
Wow.
2-1 for Kuldota. Sadly for Minjone with the Cricket Affinity. It wasn't lucky enough to overcome the aggro from
Yes.
Kuldota. Maybe they had only one Hydroblast in their starting end, but
Yes.
3 copies of Goblin Tomb Raider, the Pauper Lara Croft. Yeah.
We're better than an hydroblast. Yes,
Better than Goblin in Guide.
I think so.
Monastery is still alive in form of Goblin Tomb Raider, and now we know why. So
Yes, I think that this was the last match and the last game of the last round of
Yeah, the
today,
last
of the day
round of
one
day
of the
one.
PauperGeddon Spring Edition 2024. So after that match, we will return after a short break with all the people that are part of the panel and are present in this event. So Gavin Very and Emma Partler. I don't remember the third.
third one, do you mean the Italian one?
I
Do we
think
have
so.
an Italian person in performance panel? Maybe something like
yeah.
Maurizio Ciabatta?
Yeah, it's possible.
It is possible. So don't.
So after that, we will reply to every question that you can do. So
Yeah,
we will be there.
People at home, we will see you later with the Pauper format panel to
So
answer your questions.
Keep your question in.
So if you
your head.
want to ask Mirko Ciabatta why Prophetic Prism is banned with pawns at tier 1, I'll ask him personally to unban Prophetic Prism.
Why I cannot do downshift, I don't know. But we will see later after a short break. Stay there.